Okay, no one's allowed to be mean to me when I say this, but I have a Letterboxd account and I've never seen an Akira Kurosawa film. I know, burn me at the stake or whatever. I go through the effort of logging every single film I watch, complete with averagely funny to overwhelmingly earnest film reviews, and I haven't seen a single picture from supposedly one of the greatest directors ever. This shame runs deep because I literally have a Kurosawa box set that I've owned for like an entire decade. I only have myself to blame here, but they're so long! And you know I'm always on that phone, how am I meant to have an attention span anymore? Sorry, what's that? Yeah, okay, I did watch Sonic the Hedgehog 3 times in the space of a month, what's your point? My point is that when it comes to media, I am a chronic off-putterer. I can't help being this way. The worst part is I'll do it so often for shit I know I'll funk with heavily, Kurosawa included, and even go as far as watching films only Letterboxd users and academics will have heard of that I can't even really tell if I liked or not. This is unequivocally my media red flag, and all I can apologise for is being someone with a film degree. Segue, recently for the first time I sat down and held myself at gunpoint to play a much beloved video game that I knew I would fall in love with, and you already know the name of it because it's in the video title, Mother 3. Big spoilers ahead if you haven't played it, by the way. What's even left to say with Mother 3? It's 20 years old next year. Surely at this point everything that's been said about it has been spoked into reality somewhere along the line. I can't imagine that it would be very easy to have many original thoughts about it. I'm not even sure the thoughts I've thunked about it are original at all. It's great, I love it. Though maybe the question of whether or not it lived up to expectations is the trickier one I can answer here. Ironically, much like that Kurosawa box set, I've been meaning to play Mother 3 for about a decade. Probably a bit more than that, to be honest. If you've clicked on this video, I probably don't need to tell you that it infamously is not available, officially speaking, in English, and that it has a really great fan translation, which is how I did doodly play it. There have been times where I've attempted to play it over the years, the packed ROM likely sitting on more than one personal computer hard drive of mine left unfinished, waiting for either my descendants or an evolved form of dog to discover and think, this one sure loves to download files from the internet. I just kind of kept getting interrupted. I don't even know if that's the right thing to say. For one reason or another, I've simply kept dropping it and thusly put it off more and more. This, of course, has a snowball effect, the weight of which gets ever heavier on my scales of anxiety telling me, but what if you don't like it? What if everyone that says it's one of the most special games of all time are wrong? The weight of expectation is one that's pretty hard to shift. I've definitely gone into things and come out the other side feeling, oh, so everyone was wrong about this, and now I have the correct opinion that it's fine, actually. And the opposite is true too. I live for being a fucking contrarian, baby. I liked absolutely not Final Fantasy Versus 13 Reignatus deeply and unironically. That's one of the most premium 6 out of 10s I've ever played right there. And yet, when I got to the end of Mother 3, it was a Schrodinger's cat box where there were actually 2 cats, one dead and one alive. I was met with what I expected, and what I didn't expect. Take for instance these ladies, whose name I don't really want to say because if you take the first 2 letters away, their name is a slur, one of the many points I feel conflicted about with this group of heavily queer-coded characters. They are 2000s ass transgender stereotypes to the max. They wear kink gear, they have beards, they're overly effeminate. When they blip out of existence, they leave behind a lipstick and a razor. There's the scene where Lucas has his psychic powers unlocked in a hot spring, which yes, I had to Google what is a natural hot tub called because my brain decided it didn't know what a hot spring was anymore. The implications of that scene being glaringly sexual. They are just full to the brim of things that make me say, oh no thank you. But on the opposite side of things, they are expressly guardians of the island Lucas and co live on. Their entire purpose is to protect its inhabitants from certain doom, and for such a responsibility to be given to queer characters does feel special in its own way, the messiness of the rest of it aside. I too felt surprised by Kumatora almost being gender neutral in a way. She doesn't like girly things, but it's not like she's trying to be a boy either. I think if I knew nothing about her and you showed me her design and said she was non-binary, I'd believe you, there's no gender in sight here. There's also just how anti-capitalist and pro-small community the game is. When the game kicks off, the village you reside in, Tazmily, is utopianly peaceful. Like, there's a prison, but no police officers, and the prison has essentially never been used before. People just give you items to take with you on your adventure, they look after each other. It's an everyone knows everyone kind of vibe that you'll be familiar with if you've ever lived in a small town. Over time, the village gets more and more corrupted and turns into something closer to a modern town, complete with paved roads, white picket fenced houses, that sort of thing. The houses part of it made me particularly sad because they were all physically connected before, but with the introduction of the vile substance dubbed currency, they become detached. It's not subtle, but it is good. Perhaps the thing that most surprised me of all was everything to do with Lucas and his family. You see, I knew going into it that his mother and twin brother die. It's kind of like that Final Fantasy VII spoiler, but on a smaller scale. It's just something that becomes pretty casual knowledge. What I didn't know was when they both die in the game. I mean, I knew that Lucas's mother Himawari dies really early on, except I assumed his brother Klaus dies shortly after. Turns out I was bigly wrong. He's actually, technically aside from plot twist Porky, the main villain of the game, slowly teased and hinted at in a way that's heavily obvious to anyone with an ounce of media literacy. Klaus ends up as the final boss of the game, one that is heavily scripted in a way where you don't really lose or win. Lucas ends up not being able to fight, reduced to the tears his crybaby self had overcome up until that point. It's a wonderful example of how boss fights can be interesting narrative moments outside of just being a challenge. We just fought Porky, we don't need another tough fight, this one can just tell a story. At the end of it all, there's not enough life left in Klaus, and he does die. His brother and father, who love him very much, there to see him off. Like, fuck, man! This colourful little GBA game got me! The tears doth flow, you know? This alone shows me why Nintendo don't really want to localize it. And once the credits rolled, I just couldn't help but think to myself, oh, why the hell did I put that off for so long? I could have played it at any point, I just didn't. Yeah, it was those expectations I had of it that made me afraid I wouldn't like it. But to be real for a moment, I lost my own mum when I was a kid, so I think I might have been worried I wouldn't connect with a game like Mother because I didn't have that same connection with my own anymore. Last year, creator Shigesato Itoi spoke of where the name Mother even came from for the series. He said, "I'm 75 now, but in contrast to my big age, my answer was quite simple. I think I just wanted to say Mother. Maybe I just wanted to shout Mum for all the world to hear. I'm pretty sure that's my answer." Ever since I was a kid, I kind of forbade myself from thinking about the idea of mother. My parents divorced before I was old enough to remember, and growing up without a mum was just a given. I was okay not having a relationship with my mum, and I got used to growing up without her. It's been decades at this point, but I wonder if that lack of feeling towards my mother was putting some kind of strain on my heart. And at last I finally found the opportunity to shout that word I had forbade myself from saying. Mother. His specific reason for wanting to say that word mother is different from my own, but it's a word I desperately wish I could say now and it have a weight to it, rather than just being a word in my vocabulary. I think maybe I put Mother 3 off because I was afraid it would get me to say mother once more and feel that weight for the first time in decades. I'm not going to tell you whether I did or not, that's a secret for me to take to my grave. But like, man, just go ahead and do the thing. Don't wait for the right moment, it'll never come if you're looking out for it. Thank you for watching this, I guess a strange little video about Mother 3. I would say there was not much textual analysis here, it was definitely a lot more emotionally driven, but I just wanted to kind of get something of my feelings out there about the game. And I wanted to do something smaller in between my next couple of videos. Which, yeah, that Enna video is coming at some point within the next couple of months, I think. I'm probably going to do that summer anime video next. I hope you're all having a nice summer too. I am constantly frustrated and upset by the effects of climate change and how unpredictable the weather has been, but I also feel like I'm trying to make more of the time that I have. Don't want to be a doomer about things, basically. I don't know where this has gone. Anyway, I am going to give you a kiss on the forehead and say goodbye. That's it.